it's James from Fitness Basics, and the purpose behind this video is to show you how to open up and mobilise the hip joint and to mobilise the ankle joint to perform a relatively decent squat. Now these two joints, the ankle and the hip, will determine if you can perform a good squat, or they'll either tell you that your squat requires some work still. The squat's the knee dominant movement, the ankle and the hip will be key to performing a decent squat. So I'm going to take you through some drills on how to open up both these joints, and then we can test the squat and see how you perform, if there's any improvements throughout your range of motion, because the joints have been opened up and it allows for a better full squat. Let's get into it. Up first is a high position pigeon stretch. I've set up on a table, you can do it on a box. Now it's important to have the knee and foot pressing against the box pretty much parallel with the floor in regards to height. Don't bend the upper body during this stretch. You want to keep upright, slight brace in the stomach, and breathe out as you do lean forward. So don't bend forward, but lean forward. I'm going to show you from the other side. The back leg hip flexor will be stretching because it's relatively straight. Now I bend the knee of my front leg and my hip now is in external rotation. That's basically stretching my glute muscle. It's opening up the hip on the left hand side, and also it's targeting the piriformis, which is located deeply beneath the glute muscle, and that plays a role in hip stabilization. The piriformis helps your thighs and hips rotate outwards so that you can squat down deeper. If you're unable to move your knee down to the platform, it's important to use something still to press your knee against, otherwise the stretch is not effective enough. So I just used a water bottle there, press my knee against it, execute properly, and you'll feel it very well. You'll find you can work your way down in time through practice. A great pigeon stretch alternative is to sit down on the edge of a seat, raise one knee and ankle, place one ankle on top of your other knee, and then press down on the knee that's raised. This will create more of a horizontal setup from your knee down to your feet. Mine's pretty much there. Then you want to breathe out, lean forward with an upright posture. I'll just show you from the other foot. So for example, if your knee can't go all the way down horizontal, that's still okay because you'll be challenging the area of tightness in your hip. But obviously for me, I've practiced this. And then you just same rinse and repeat, breathe out, upright posture. Just don't bend forward, lean forward. So another great drill you can do to open up your hip flexors is to get into a deep squat. If you can't get into the deep squat, just on a flat ground, incline your heels up on a grass verge or a verge, or put weights on the floor, put your heels on the weights so that you can get down deeper. Now I like to use my elbow against this side of my knee and then create resistance here by trying to force my elbow outwards and try to pull my knee inwards. So there's tension now here, and then it's going to open up the adductors that run along the inside of your thighs down to your hips. So you can also just have a little bounce, just personal preference. Deep breaths, and that's going to open up your hip flexors. You don't have to get up from this position either. You can use your hands just to help take some pressure off your knees as you stand up. Now this drill I like to test the hip flexion, that I'm able to get my hips down deep. So I almost come into like a similar lunge position, and then deep breath in, breathe out as I let my hips just drop to the floor. As I do that, I allow, when my hips come down, I allow my knee to track forward, so it gives me some ankle mobility. So deep breath in, then breathe out, let the hips drop to the floor. And obviously I've become quite proficient at this after practicing it day upon day and week upon week, so it's definitely coming along. Bring my knee back so that my shin is straight, and then extend. Just quickly show you the other side. Now solely focusing on moving through the ankle better, you can stand around 8 inches away from a pole in like a reverse lunge position with your back knee on the ground, and then lean the knee forwards, breathe out as you do it, whilst keeping your heel still in contact with the floor. That's really going to target the soleus as well as the ankle, which is what you're working through. So keep in mind not to lift your heel up, because that makes the exercise ineffective. Instead, keep it planted down and you just guide your knee forward to your own ability. Everyone is going to look different dependent on their ankle mobility. Now this is also easily manageable to set up your front leg on a high position like I've got a chair, and then track the knee forward, let the ankle bend forward there, and keep your body fairly upright, gaze forward, slight brace in the stomach and your chest upright. So you don't want to over exaggerate and lean backwards too far. Keep your stomach braced and then lean into that stretch. Your hip flexor on the back leg will also be stretching, and then you just swap sides. That's it. With this next movement, I've got a broomstick to support myself. You just want to stand on the edge of a platform that's just slightly off the floor. Then we're going to position the working leg with the ball of our foot just in contact with the edge of the platform, slight bend in the knee, and then we just want to focus on bringing that heel down as far as we can manage, and then extend up. And the main focus is that your heel travels all the way up and your heel travels all the way down to your own ability, and that's how you're going to test the range of movement that you've got in your ankle. Then you just swap sides accordingly. You'll feel the soleus muscle stretch that runs past your calf down towards your ankle. So the final movements to work through your ankle mobility is to be in a deep squat and to lean forward. This is one of my personal favourite drills, and then also being on one leg for some stability benefits, planting the toes down to the floor and then extending upwards. Let's just do a wrap up now in the rain. So there we have it. That's some ankle and hip mobility work to help unlock your squat potential so that you can squat deeper and just perform the movement pattern overall pretty safe. Hope you've enjoyed that. Look forward to the next videos that I put out, and I'm going to get out of the rain.